We're convening a meeting of the Safety Committee to discuss two issues. One concerns parking, and the other one concerns entranceways and some other work up at the Lake Street Park. We should talk about the parking issue at Rochelle's first, probably because that's going to be on the agenda at the Selectmen's meeting. And I guess there's concerns from development in Evergreen. And there is parking, from what I understand, on the grass that extends from Rochelle's, and that's an issue beyond the expansion, if at all possible, to outdoor dining, which would exacerbate the parking situation. So does someone want to begin the discussion on what's going on up there?
Well, I think there's a couple of issues, Mr. Kelly. One, which is an issue that we've been dealing with for quite a long period of time. There was a plan submitted to the board way back, probably 15, 16 years ago, which showed the parking development for Rochelle's, which included, almost 15 spaces in behind the building. Yet those spaces were never really being used. The parking lot was really never developed the way it should have been, so that people were only parking in the front, and the overflow were being parked in the street, not only Main Street but down Evergreen Drive. And those issues became a problem because the way I was looking at it, if we had an emergency vehicle like a fire truck that needed to go down Evergreen Drive, or an ambulance or whatever, it was a very narrow passageway by the time the cars were parked. So I know, I believe, Dan, you posted the beginning sign so that there's no parking probably for 60, 70 feet down Evergreen Drive, but now they're continuing to park on Main Street. And though I have no problem with, the development of outside dining, Rochelle's, is a nice little restaurant. I like eating outside myself, except the issue is that the landlord is blocked off the back of the parking lot, so that there's no access to it at all, not for emergency vehicles, not for parking, which severely limits the amount of parking that Rochelle's actually has, including Scuttlebutts, which is the liquor store and convenience store next door.
Now, Jim, did you know why he did that? Why did he block that off?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But the issues go back into the 1999.
Is that something we should kind of maybe talk to the owner then and see? I mean, should it be part of the thing? I mean, that would probably solve the problem if it would allow the parking.
Very definitely. I mean, I don't know what condition the back of the parking lot is. It should have been paved when he repaved the front section, and should have been striped. But where the outside dining is actually, only has the one entrance, which would be on the left side of the building. The outside dining part that Rochelle's actually developed was the entranceway on the right side to the back parking lot. I don't really care that, that be opened up, so it would be a nice place to continue to do outside dining, but, the landlord's got to open up the back of the parking lot and establish, the parking that meets the requirements for a restaurant or for a convenience store.
Yeah, well, we're the license issuer, so we can't really represent either party. So, but they've got to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The Evergreen issue is, my understanding, they're parking on the grass, so you can't see to pull out.
Right, they're parking on the grass on the side of Main Street, so they're blocking the visitation.
So, is it an issue there where a no parking sign is needed?
I'm gonna have to say so. It looks like that the no parking signs that were on Evergreen
Yep.
Looks like it pushed some of the parking traffic onto Main Street. And I'm just looking at the pictures that were sent to us by the resident. It looks like most of the violations, or three of the four violations are exactly that. One of them looks like it's actually partially blocking Evergreen on Main Street.
Right.
But certainly on that, I'd have to look at the amount of area, but I'm gonna say across the street on Main Street, certainly on that side, there shouldn't be any parking.
And that would impact public safety vehicles.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if they're parking like this,
Yeah,
half of
Yeah.
Main Street.
Yeah,
would?
I would say so.
All right.
And that'd actually probably be pretty simple too, because there's a speed limit sign, you could put a sign right on there, right? With parking.
Yep.
This way you don't have to dig any holes.
Because, for example, this picture, that would affect how we turn onto it, because it's sticking out further than the sign.
So, does this require a vote of the board?
Well, we're really recommending board to the Board of Selectmen, right? So, yeah, I would say that.
So, we're all in consensus to recommend to the Board of Selectmen for a no parking
On the
area,
Yeah.
on that area,
Main Street.
on Main Street.
Yeah, so as not to affect the line of sight coming out of Evergreen.
All right. And we still have Rochelle's on the agenda, so we can pretty much tell him what's going on as far as our recommendation with that and how that's going to impact his business, as well as the fact that he doesn't have sufficient parking places for outside dining. Does he even have sufficient parking places for what he's got now?
Well, not according to the bylaw. I mean, Rochelle shuts down at 1 o'clock, and most of the people using the convenience store don't go in till after that. So it seems to be adequate at this point in time, but, you know, it's just a shame to have the landlord be impacted, his client, his leasee or...
All right, next item is we had a meeting, at our last meeting, you had a call, emergency you had to deal with, so you weren't here. And originally, when you and I talked about having the dual entrances here, and then,
Maybe two there as well, because you got this one's existing.
yeah, these two here, and then we talked about the guardrail and the sidewalk here. Public safety had an issue with the two, so we decided to talk about it. Oh, for the record, this is the Lake Street Park.
Mr. Kelly, if I may, based on discussion we had at the last meeting, I've been by that area a number of times. I can see certainly a benefit with the ramp over here. Having driven by there and seeing vehicles maneuvering in there with a trailer, I see the benefits of having that to try to, instead of trying to do a U-turn in here and come back out this way, I do see the benefits of that second entrance. Now, is there...
There was another reason for that as well. Where were we putting the guardrail on this side? This is when the Lake Street Committee was in there, and Mr. Luna was involved as well. The guardrail is gonna jog in over here, so somebody could back out of the truck, put a kayak in, and then this was able to, so they could pull into the
Pull right in
parking
the
lot
parking
across
lot.
the street. So that was the other reasoning why they wanted this extra entrance on this side. So if you pulled in a kayak, you could drop your kayak and then just pull right across, because you'd have to kind of come out and go turn around and then come back to get, the parking lot. So that was one of the things, because it's kind of a ramp there now, and if you look at it, it's kind of a dirt opening that you
Yeah.
can pull. People do it already,
Yeah.
they're pulling it in and
Yep,
out.
this is
But we
off-road.
were gonna kind of, yes,
Yes.
so it's enough off the street that they can, pull off now, and people are doing that,
Mhm.
to throw kayaking to get into this the south pond.
Yeah, so I kind of changed, I happened to see there were a couple of cars sporadically parking there. There was a trailer boat trying to make the turn, and
Yeah,
it was, a 47-point turn to try to get around and get back to that exit, so I certainly see the benefit, after taking your boat out, I certainly see the benefit of being able to go there, especially if these improvements go through, you're gonna probably see significantly more visitors there, so I do see the benefit of that second entryway.
Okay. So, change of opinion
Yes, based on site visit and just kind of seeing it.
for this lot?
Now, was there some talk of a ramp going in over here at some point? Or?
no, but this, well.
There
again,
is a ramp.
There is something there for a kayak thing, which he wanted to keep that. This entrance, because when we do the guardrail over here, this is gonna be another walkway we're proposing to do on this side
Okay.
as well. So, I mean, we could just continue and just have a walkway out this side if you wanted. I mean, I don't think this one's necessary because you've got plenty of room to pull a boat and pull, like you're saying. It's not, and again, nothing was discussed how we wanted to do parking over here. One of the things was do a parking area like in here, because we're gonna try to get rid of these boulders and guardrail all along here.
Mhm.
So now we can put pavement on this side, and then, because a lot of people park, if you notice, they go park on the
Yes.
grass over there under the trees. So, that could be an area that could be parking, and then keep the walkway, so people can come, get out of their car, go in here and walk along here, because people fish along this pond as well. So we're trying to keep, that's why we want to put the guardrail up to here, to a certain section down there, and then this pond on this side, after we get, it kind of was flush where the end of the south pond goes, is where this one
Okay.
will end, the guardrails.
And this entryway, it would be gravelly.
It's more of a kayak, correct. It's
Something
not a
small.
Yes, it's not a boat, you're not putting.
And we're putting two boulders in front so people can walk through, so people actually can't drive down there.
Well, you get any calls for anybody in the water? Yeah.
Not recently. Not recently. Not recently.
But, yeah. So, I
Do we
mean,
have
that's
no
all the
right to
things.
that?
I'm sorry?
Do we have no right to that?
Right at this moment, we don't. But that's access, that's a right of way for the houses that are out back there as well.
But it's just a right of way just for them?
Correct.
It's-
Right now,
it's-
currently, the city is,
Yeah, it's the cities.
we're working on that.
Well, I mean, it's all the cities.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If it's all the cities, I mean, there's a reason why we just couldn't open up that.
Well,
I mean, our bylaws particularly say you can't have two entrances that close to one another. So-
yes, we've got the rights here, we've got the rights there, and we've got the rights along here. And the city has no problem with this and paving as long as, right now, it's 4,000 square feet. And we could probably do either gravel or paving over here as long as it's 4,000 square feet.
Correct. You had that actually text from Jamie. So that was on Friday. I don't know if you wanted to read that one out there, but,
It's actually a good idea.
Yeah, well, I
okay.
was talking to the mayor's chief of
it's easy enough
staff
to do.
Friday.
Right.
Okay.
So
all right, maybe.
so
All right.
that's why that happened.
Okay. So,
So
do
there
we-
is a
Jim, what is the
concern?
distance that you have to be apart?
Well, to entryways, I mean, it's not that well defined, it's basically 60 feet.
I think that's more than 60 anyways, Jim, to tell you the truth.
What,
From here to
Oh,
here.
not that one, no, no.
That's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
would it make sense? Is this what you're saying? Would it make sense to have,
Come right out of here.
Okay,
or come down here, something like that?
Yeah, anything like that.
Meet up with that driveway.
All right.
I don't see an issue with that, that would be okay, Jim, like I said, because they can still come out of here, come up and go in, the parking lot there, that's fine, if you want to
Public
do that.
safety?
you can-
I don't have an issue with that. That makes
That's
Makes
probably
a lot
more
of sense.
sense, it's even better, yeah.
All right, why don't we look at prepping some plans for that?
Okay,
We've got,
maybe I can widen this up over here too, you know?
we've got an okay here.
Well,
we
we're gonna, are we gonna keep this one, is that, would you guys,
My primary concern when we first had the discussion was this one over here, but after seeing vehicles, you know,
Yeah.
and trying to negotiate that the second exit or entryway over here made perfect sense. Over here, I'm not gonna hang my, you know, plant my flag on that hill.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you
I'll
want
defer,
this
I'll
one,
defer
or
to
do
the
you
Lake
want-
Street.
see, this,
on that.
again, this was the Lake Street Committee that,
Yeah.
when we first doing that, and that was actually Mr. Warner, and that's where we kinda, he wanted an entrance in and out. I mean, that's,
I don't have.
Would it
I
be
mean,
easier because of the size of this, not to do this and just extend the walkway?
and bring the walkway down there, yes, and have the walkway come
Why don't
into
we,
the parking
why
lot.
don't we propose that?
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Okay, so let the walkway come down and it'll be all inside the guardrails.
Yeah.
So people come pull in, even if we made a little parking area here, whatever, they can pull in and then just go to the walkway. Or
And
go out there
and
and
they could go to
that
the kayak,
thing, correct.
whatever we call it, not a ramp, it's a ramp. And so we've got to get the MOA and we've got to talk to Jamie.
Correct.
Once we talk to Jamie, and then we've got to give these people notice. Because I wouldn't want to do it without,
Or would we pave that too? I mean, it would,
It would be better, yeah.
yeah, I mean, for them
All the
as
stuff
well.
is even that entrance gets all ripped up from the.
okay.
I might even have to put, when I get over there, we could shoot some, maybe put some type of drainage in there or something. It's just the water, this is like a level area through here. It's not got much pitch at all.
Right.
So the water sits in there. I actually, when I went and fixed the parking lots the other day, I think it was over, so there's like a low spot in here, and I kinda
Yeah.
just cut this a little so the water wouldn't puddle here, and it went into the grassy area over here.
Mhm.
So maybe I could do the same over here type of thing. I didn't get the laser out and shoot it, but it definitely has to be something, because I definitely like real level in this area, and it sits on the street, and I don't want it on the street for the winter, so I gotta get it off of there. So either I put in, maybe I can even put a dry basin or something in there, a leaching basin in there. That's something
Now,
we can do.
now
when I
we've
go
got
to do
an
the-
issue though.
Yeah.
If we're backing this up, these people have a driveway there. So in the
Well,
winter time, what are we gonna do about the snow?
Well, is that really kind of, anybody go there in the winter that much in Lake Street? I mean, they go in the park and you can.
No, I'm worried about these people getting in and out, because if we move the entranceway over to here, then we're gonna be responsible for plowing that.
Well, not really, we don't plow that parking lot now.
No, but
Oh,
that's their driveway.
yeah, which we don't plow.
And when we take this over, they can't plow our area.
Right,
Okay,
doesn't remain just an easement from the city?
It's an easement for them,
yeah.
but if we take it over on an MOA, we're responsible for it.
So what he's talking about, because we're looking, New Bedford's, we're looking into taking this, like, get a 99-year lease or whatever off,
Right.
and getting this property, everything, and they own, past this, and then the property owners beyond that have the property.
And once we get the MOA, we can deal with the weeds in the bodies of water. But technically, we can't do it until they give us permission or we get the MOA. But if we've got an MOA and our entranceway comes out like that, we're taking this in effect.
I thought we were kind of taking the whole thing, like if,
No, well, I mean, their driveway's their responsibility.
yeah,
But when we take half of their driveway, half of their driveway's our responsibility. So we'd have to plow that.
See, I kind of felt it was an easement. It would
Yeah.
be an easement in perpetuity, whether we use it or they use it.
Yes.
because the city don't plow it for them right
Right.
now, you know what I mean?
No, they plow it, but can we have, if we put our asphalt down, they're
It's
not
still- it's
gonna
still
be
an
plowing it.
easement. No, I don't, I mean, oh, you don't want them to plow it, you're saying?
I'm saying technically, I'm not sure they can, because of the fact that it's ours at that point. We've gotten the MOA from the city, we've got the asphalt down, and it's our legal responsibility. So if they're plowing it, let's say, and they damage it, it's still our responsibility. If they plow it and they get injured or damaged, they're our responsibility. I mean, they can have an easement over our right of way, which would probably have to have town council once we get the
Yeah, we
MOA.
can actually check with New Bedford and see what they do now, because New Bedford's really letting them
Letting them,
do, yeah.
but that's because they have an easement. As soon as we make it part of our parking lot,
Yeah.
their easement ends wherever our parking lot begins, even if it's an entranceway. So I'm just saying, in the wintertime, you're going to end up having to at least plow that area for them to have an entrance and egress. If we, and I think it makes sense to go that way.
It doesn't bother me.
All right,
I don't-
I just want to make sure.
I was gonna say, is that 100 feet, 200 feet,
Doesn't bother me, no.
make that big of a,
Yeah.
No, but it just means that it's going to be on your list. And I'll talk to town council about seeing if we have to then re-up the easement for them to include our use.
And by the way, actually, we're gonna be good this year. There was talk about putting the plows on the cruisers this year, so.
Well, you know,
I thought it was a
In
good.
the-
Yes,
in the 60s, when I was overseas in the German and Austrian Alps, they had plows on school buses.
We could use them too?
Yeah.
Yeah, fire, everything. We'll use everybody.
Well, I think it was because they didn't want the buses to get caught. But, so, I've got a little bit of homework here. We gotta redo the plans. And this one we don't need, so we
Yep.
gotta redo that.
Okay.
And then the next issue is, are you gonna start on any of the guardrails or the sidewalks or anything before we get this finalized?
I can't do anything until I gotta go with this plan to DEP. I gotta get approved through DEP before I can do anything.
For this?
Correct.
Do you
So
have
what
to
we
go-
had to do, what we're doing now, so I can take it to this guy, the engineer, get this done, and then I can bring it over to DEP for their approval. Which
All right.
usually, well, now, again, I had to have the city conservation agent take it to them. We kinda, it was, because they own the property type of thing.
But if we get the MOA, we could take it to them and
Correct.
it's our Concom.
Correct.
Zenith is
Correct.
right across the street from DEP.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's good. All right, so I will quickly talk to town council about this. If they're okay with that, then redraw the plans and
Yeah.
we're off to the races.
Yeah.
See what happens when we put 6 heads together? We end up with a kayak ramp. Now, if the city would just sell us the damn thing for $1, it would be a lot easier.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
it
have
would be.
any, but
Well, they don't have any, the pump house is just a platform now, right?
Yeah.
They don't have any access to the water anyway.
No, well, it isn't so much that.
that's actually an earth dam over there,
Yeah.
the pump house is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be all regulated through DEP, and you're gonna take.
Yeah,
care of
you
that,
can't
so-
touch that dam, because
Yeah.
you'd never be able to replace it.
Yeah,
And-
there's the fish back there.
And I'm sure if New Bedford knew what a liability that was, I'd love to see if they're even listing it in their insurance.
Yeah.
The downhill one, the downstream. Yeah, because it could be a huge liability.
Yeah.
It would destroy everything downstream from it.
And it would bring all the stuff upstream, downstream, and into the estuary and
Oh, yeah.
everything else.
Enormous plume of silt, yeah, absolutely.
And I wouldn't want to have the Buzzards Bay Coalition coming back at me for that. But
Was there anything else on this while we're talking about it? I think that was about it, right? Everybody's,
yeah,
Everything else a lot
why
more
don't you
together.
tell them about how you're gonna move the boulders, just so they all know.
the ones, the pile we have here. No,
As far as setting
We
them
actually were
up.
putting like a retaining wall here, and we kinda already got it in wood chips now. I don't know if you see
Yep,
the
yep.
pigment over there, so we kinda, well, we just didn't finish the wall. And then again, it's gonna be an opening so they can come through this wall and get into that sidewalk. And we got the crosswalks already. I think, the only other thing we were talking about, I think everybody was watching the walking path that goes through the back part of that. That would be something just in grass or something, nothing, or we could put it in like a processed material, just so it don't get.
Or wood chips.
Yeah, wood chips,
Yeah,
something
wood
like
chips,
that.
wood chips are used a
That's
lot.
something
Yeah.
relatively cheap. I mean, that was the only other thing. There was all kinds of talk, Mr. Lunar was actually discussing, there's a pad over here, and, they could put, something there, or even an ice cream truck or something.
Well, we were
like that.
talking about fixing up the parking lot here,
Yeah.
right?
So that's another discussion, how we want to do it. I can do anything anybody wants. I don't, I can dig it out and put it in. Like I said, I see a lot of people park in this grass area, so I don't know if that's an option, or we could put parking here. I could do whatever.
Yeah, the big
Anybody-
issue is 4,000 square feet
Yeah.
of impervious
Yeah.
surface.
So,
I actually think the area that you're parking there could remain in grass.
yeah, just leave it the way it is,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, I mean, it's working, it's nice. I don't know, yeah, why put more?
Would it be better with
And this-
grass or gravel?
Yeah.
I think grass.
I leave it to grass. I mean, I might have to fix it up. It's all roots and kind of a little shitty over there, but we can kind of clean that up and make that a little nicer.
Well, there's a big push now in a lot of these big box stores to actually do reinforced turf,
Yep.
which is basically just a plastic grid that they lay down underneath the surface, so that it won't, and you plant grass on it and it stays forever,
Yeah.
Because a lot of the big box stores, their parking requirements are hundreds and hundreds of parking spaces, but if you go in, maybe a third of the park is ever used, except maybe at Christmas time.
Yeah,
So that way
yeah.
they go in and they can park on the reinforced turf and.
Yeah, correct. And same thing with here. This is definitely not as used as much as this lot here.
Right.
You go by, I went by on Sunday and this one was packed. You had a few in here, but
Right.
this was.
Well, I just know too, a couple times we've gone up to the whip and gotten food
Yeah.
and come down here and parked, in the shade on that side
Yeah.
late in the afternoon.
It's nice, yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
nice breeze, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
the kids can run around.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's this. I mean, so yeah, again, I can send this plan through. So do we put the walking path on that? I can have them put it in, and
Put it as
Okay.
proposed,
just so I don't have to go back and we don't have to do
Yeah.
any more. So,
and,
okay.
and let me talk to town council first about this
Drive.
concept,
Okay,
but I don't see a problem with it.
okay,
And you've got this one out,
yep,
this one in, it's gotta be wide enough for in and out, right?
yep,
And the radius is for your vehicles.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty wide
We've
in
gotten,
there, yeah.
we've gotten the worst turning truck in and out of there multiple times without any problems.
All right, then we're good.
They're gonna ask for
And if they talk about this, if they talk about this path, Dan, I seriously would consider just using wood chips. I mean,
Okay.
wood chips,
No, yeah, it was, again, that was
Yeah.
in the Lake Street Committee, and that was a year ago, so whatever, when we're doing this, but,
I mean,
yeah.
because we
But
have.
It was just something else when people.
Have
park,
them
walk
put
through.
proposed walking path, and then in parentheses, wood chips. That way,
Yeah, that stays nice, and then if it rains and everything, it's just, it's good, yeah.
well,
Put-
if
if
you're,
Plus,
fabric
wood chips
down.
absorb nitrogen, you know what I mean? If the
Yeah.
Concom is involved in this, they're
Yeah.
gonna like that a lot
Yeah.
more than any hydro was.
and if you're doing that because you're taking trees down, you can chip the trees on the way.
Well, yeah, I would be taking small stuff, that's something you're gonna wanna kinda keep it, is.
Yeah, wind the path around through the
Yeah,
trees.
yeah.
All right, I think
We're
we're,
gonna bring the bulldozer.
yeah, no,
All right.
don't
Very
don't bring the brush buster.
All right.
I think we've got a plan. Thank you,
And I'll
gentlemen.
just wait to hear from you and then,
I'll
I'll
talk
get
to
this
town
done.
council. They might contact you just to get a copy of the plan
okay,
sent over to them.
all right, very good.
All right, any other issues that someone knows about that we got hanging?
No,
No?
I'll reach out to Dan, I'll send an email regards to the additional no parking signs
Okay.
in this area. But
Yep.
just that one area we talked about, and
Yep.
probably I'll violate boat park in that area, but that's
Okay.
neither here nor there.
All right, very good.
Yeah, so do we have the signs ready for the gas station opening?
We actually put some of them up, I don't know if we have
Already?
them all, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so,
Yeah, it's actually pretty well signed on Wing and
yeah,
as
just,
you go north of the station, just that, as far as the area of the station, that one area we talked about between Dayton and Hill,
yeah.
you know, use an additional sign there, you know, as far as the gas station goes.
They originally said, or second round, said they were trying to be open for July 4th. Are they gonna make it?
I think they're close.
They're waiting
Yeah,
for
they're
power.
close, but they're waiting for the power company to put those poles in they requested at that meeting.
And we have
It's
no
still not
idea
done.
when they're gonna do that,
No.
but it's been approved.
Right.
Yeah, they actually, I just talked with them this morning, I met with them, about the crosswalk, so they'll be doing the crosswalks this week as well over there. So I'm meeting
So as soon as they get power, they can open?
Yeah, as far as
Pretty
I know.
much, yeah.
Last inspections or?
Well, I have
After they
inspection
get
this
power.
afternoon, but that's just basically for the grid sealing, but, yeah, I mean, by the 4th of July, I would think they will be ready.
Cool.
Motion to
Taxpayer.
Second.
All right.
All in favor? Yes.
All right.